Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Panachari Jamuna Tira Panachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Gyantimidandasya Gyananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapatakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Bhasyatya Deshatharine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Khanta Radha Khanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. It is my great honor and fortune to be with you this evening. Thank you for coming. Special gratitude to Gopal Bhatta Prabhu and his team of devotees who organized this wonderful ISKCON leadership Sangam, and for each of you for coming, some from the Brahmacharya ashram here in Mayapur and others from Hawaii and Europe and Russia and China, America, Australia, and everywhere else. Thank you. Before beginning my talk, I'd like to introduce this book to you. 5 years, 11 months in a lifetime of unexpected love. It was written by Vishaka Devi about her incredible Can you hear me? No one can hear me except the people in charge of the sound system. If you hear me, sound system people, can you hear? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Vishaka Devi, one of the very early disciples of Srila Prabhupada, along with her illustrious husband Yadubar Prabhu. They were among the very, very few people in this world who had very close proximity in their surrendered service to Srila Prabhupada. She has shared her memories, 5 years, 11 months, which is the time she spent with Srila Prabhupada, and a lifetime of unexpected love. And I sincerely recommend to everyone to get this book. And of course, Shamsundar Prabhu has recorded his incredible memories in chasing rhinos with the Swami. And both of these books of Srila Prabhupada's original followers are here for us in Mayapur. I was asked to speak today on the concept of servant leadership. Bhagavad Gita tells, Yad yad acharati srestas tad evetaro jana sayat pramanam kurete lokastar anuvartate. That what leaders do, the common people follow. What they speak, how they act. This is very much at the heart of what Srila Prabhupada expected of each and every one of us. To lead by our words, by very carefully speaking in harmony, repeating the words that we have heard from Srila Prabhupada and our previous acharyas. It was so much Srila Prabhupada's spirit of servitude that he came on this mission. Just yesterday, the appearance day of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I did a little research, and more than any other festival, he would give a lecture twice a year on the appearance day and disappearance day of his Guru Maharaj. And he went into great details about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's life, and especially his relationship. How in 1922 he received this instruction from his Guru Maharaj. At their first meeting, you are intelligent young man. Bring the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to the Western world in the English language. He took that instruction as his life and soul. And just about 2 weeks before Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur departed from this world in December of 1936, he received the same instruction by letter. When Srila Prabhupada was crossing the oceans on Jaladuta, he was feeling great separation from his home in Vrindavan. But then he wrote, and he was really just writing to Krishna. He wrote, my Guru Maharaj instructed me to go to the West to bring this message. In another talk, he said, I never feel that my Guru is ever apart from me. We are always together because I'm always trying to execute his instruction. In 1973, in a particular lecture on disappearance day of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, how Srila Prabhupada, he concluded the lecture very emotional. He said, "You are all the representatives of my Guru Maharaj, because you are helping me to fulfill the mission of my Guru Maharaj." That was Srila Prabhupada's mood. Anyone who came to him, even if they had a little tiny spark of desire to hear, desire to eat prasad, desire to chant, desire to serve in any way, Srila Prabhupada began this movement by fanning that spark, because he saw everyone as the representatives of his Guru Maharaj. He saw his Guru in each and every devotee. He saw a way of serving his Guru by how he treated every person he came in contact with. I often repeat an incident that deeply moved my heart. It was in 1971. I had traveled many places, and I had met many spiritual people. And somehow I came to Vrindavan. And after about 6 months, Srila Prabhupada came. In fact, Vishaka Devi writes about it in this book, because she was there. And every morning, Srila Prabhupada would give a class on Srimad Bhagavatam. Then there would be breakfast prasad. And I was just watching, because I wasn't his follower yet. I didn't even know what ISKCON was. But somehow I was drawn to him. And during prasad, Srila Prabhupada was so attentive to make sure each devotee was getting nice prasad. And he was so attentive to make sure devotees had the best possible accommodations, even though there was so little. And after breakfast, he would take everyone in parikrama. For about 4 or 5 hours, he would take us to holy places and give some explanations. Devotees were chanting. I was just kind of in the back watching, following. And every afternoon, he would give darshan in his room. Sometimes it was filled with old Brijavasi friends. Sometimes only a couple people were there. And every day I would come and sit just to watch and listen. I didn't ask anything. I was too shy. I'm still shy, even though I have to talk to so many people sometimes. So the main organizer, he saw I was the only Western person that was there, besides his followers. So he just assumed I must be one of the devotees. So he would tell me, "You must go out and Harinam with all the devotees." And I was sitting in the room. There was maybe 5 people there. And I wanted so much, I just wanted to be with Prabhupada. He said, "All the devotees must go on Harinam Sankirtan." And I had long hair then, kind of matted, because I didn't have a brush or comb. And I picked up a piece of my clump of my hair and said, "I'm not a devotee." And the leader got very angry with me. And I looked at Prabhupada very helplessly, and Prabhupada turned to his leader and said, "He is not a devotee, let him stay." All these years he still lets me stay. Soon after that, one person, he asked Prabhupada in English. He said, "Are you the guru of the whole world?" I was very interested. How is Prabhupada going to answer this question? Are you the guru of the whole world? Srila Prabhupada would answer questions according to time, place, and circumstance in various ways. Why was that? Because he deeply cared. He was truly compassionate. The teachings, the philosophy, were all based on the spirit of uplifting people and bringing them to Krishna. So on this occasion, when he was asked, "Are you the guru of the world?" in such a humble mood, he was sitting on the floor, he just looked down on the floor and didn't say anything. For maybe half a minute. And then he kind of looked up and said, "No. I am the servant of everyone. That's all." He said "That's all." And then he didn't say another word. That deeply moved me. So many people are aspiring to be God, aspiring to be masters, aspiring to be controllers, aspiring to be proprietors. Srila Prabhupada, he didn't just say that, he lived it. In New York City, when devotees started coming, actually in Butler, Pennsylvania, Sally Agarwal was not a devotee. Her family, her husband Gopal, Prabhupada was living at this very cheap guest house called the YMCA Hotel. And every day he would walk almost a mile to Sally Agarwal's house. And he would cook for the whole family. He would cook a feast for lunch every day. He melted their hearts. He wasn't asking, he was giving. And because of that, they gradually wanted to give whatever they had to him. But that was easy compared to, in one sense, it's not a matter of easy or hard. It's about a person's character. 26 2nd Avenue, he would cook for everybody that came. He would serve everyone that came. And after they left, he would clean up. This went on for some time. And these were not great Brahmin sadhus from Vrindavan. These were people of the counterculture from America. He wasn't just doing it out of duty. He was doing it out of compassion. He was serving. Until one day one of the people coming happened to say, "Can I help you?" And Prabhupada smiled and said, "I was waiting for someone to ask that." And then as a service, he was engaging people in Krishna service. We were doing it for Srila Prabhupada, but Srila Prabhupada he was accepting it and telling us how to do it for us. He saw us as representatives of his Guru Maharaj. Bhagavad Gita tells, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shanti mrichtati. For a devotee, Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Everything is Krishna's property. Money is all Krishna's property. Natural resources are all Krishna's property. Whatever skills and abilities, whatever intelligence we have is Krishna's property. And every living being, sarva yonisha kontiya murtaya samavantiya tasam brahma mahajonyar aham bija pratapita. Every living being is Krishna's child. This is Krishna consciousness. Whatever we have, whatever we're aspiring to get, and whoever we're dealing with, we understand we're doing it as a service. These are Krishna's children, and this is all Krishna's property. Krishna consciousness is about devotional service. Nothing is mine. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he established our entire Siddhanta on this foundational principle. The most elaborate instructions he gave to anyone that is recorded was Srila Sanatana Goswami. It was in Varanasi. He instructed him every day, all day for 2 months. And it goes from the basic teachings to the ecstatic, loving emotions of Sri Radha for Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. But he began his teachings, he established with one principle. And unless we get this principle, nothing else could be properly understood. Because in bhakti, to love Krishna, it's the highest revelation. It can only be given by Krishna when he's pleased with us. It cannot be achieved by our intellect, by our abilities, by our influences. So the foundational principle that attracts Krishna, and if we don't get this part, nothing else we do is going to really please Krishna. The first instruction, Jivera Swarupoi Krishnera Nityadas. That every living entity, every jiva, is eternally a servant of Krishna. If we analyze that principle, it's very simple. That means there's nothing else that we should ever really be aspiring for, because Nitya Krishna Das, we're eternally servants of Krishna. This is what differentiates Krishna consciousness, bhakti, from impersonal schools. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed, Natanamna janamna sundarim kavitam vajakadisha kamaye mama janamani janmanishwari bhavatad bhakti rahoita kitvai. One of the 8 most important instructions that Lord Chaitanya personally wrote with his hands. I do not desire wealth, nor beautiful women, any types of material pleasures, even having followers, being famous, being learned. Doesn't desire yogic powers. Not even liberation from suffering. The desire to be liberated from suffering, if we end there, we cannot enter into the abode of prema, or love. Lord Chaitanya said, I simply want to serve you, Krishna, unconditionally. And if it is your desire, let it be birth after birth after birth. Thakur Bhakti Vinod, he sang, Manaso deho geho jo kichu more, arpilun tu alpade nanda kishore. My body, my family, my home, my wealth, whatever I have, Krishna, my life itself, it belongs to you. Everything is Krishna's. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a leader, he taught us how to be leaders. Srila Prabhupada would often say that Lord Chaitanya is God himself, Krishna himself, in the mood of Sri Radha's love, who came in the role of a devotee to teach us how to be devotee, by his words, by his example. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the Adi Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he compares himself to a gardener. He said, I am a gardener, malakara, and I have many phalas and pulas. I have many fruits and flowers. And what are these fruits and flowers? They are prema, love for Krishna. And these fruits, how many can I distribute with my 2 hands? He gave an instruction to every single human being in the universe. This is God giving an instruction to everyone to accept these fruits for their own benefit and to distribute these fruits of love for Krishna to our capacity to everyone else. This is all he wanted. He said, being a gardener, I'm not a rich person. All I have is these fruits and flowers. And Srila Prabhupada explains in this regard, when Lord Chaitanya says this, he's telling all of us that whatever we may have or not have, whatever our position could be, we could be leaders. What does it mean to be a leader? A mother's a leader. A father's a leader. A brother or sister could be a leader. A teacher's a leader. A guru's a leader. Whatever position we're in, whatever role in society, a varna or ashram, we could be leaders if we simply accept these 2 principles. To take the fruits of love of God and to share them with others. para upakar, for the well-being of others. Lord Chaitanya cared. Once he was in a very sad state, and he said to Haridas Thakur, how will all these people in this age of Kali be delivered? And he was saying, even the trees and the inanimate objects, how could they get Krishna prema? Haridas Thakur saw how Lord Chaitanya was actually grieving in his own heart out of his supreme compassion, parama karuna, for every living being. And Haridas Thakur, in his service to Lord Chaitanya, he said, because you have come from the spiritual world and you have broadcast the congregational chanting of the holy names, Nam Sankirtan, when people loudly chant the holy name, your devotees, then everyone benefits. Even the animals and the trees, everyone will benefit by the transcendental sound vibration of your holy names. That was Haridas Thakur's service. He understood Lord Chaitanya's heart. It wasn't a formality. Lord Chaitanya instructed his two most empowered generals, Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, do not discriminate who is fit or who is unfit. Do not discriminate which place is proper or improper, which time is proper or improper. This was the principle of the Panchatattva. They were distributing Krishna consciousness to everyone. He said to Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas, go to every house, to every person with this simple message. Chant Krishna's names, worship Krishna. Hear and talk about Krishna. Krishna's your true wealth. Krishna's your very life and soul. And Nityananda Prabhu, who's the source of all other avatars, Balaram, and Haridas Thakur, the source of all living beings within this universe, Brahma, they were getting on their hands and knees with tears in their eyes, begging people, please take the name of Krishna. And sometimes those people would insult them. Just see these cheaters, these hypocrites. They were spreading these type of rumors. This Nityananda, this Haridas, what are they doing? They're coming door to door. They're begging us such an outrageous idea to chant Krishna's names and worship Krishna. Actually, they're just looking in the house to see where the windows are and where the furniture is and where the valuables, and at night they're going to break in and rob us. That's why they're coming. Nityananda and Haridas, they would fall at the feet of these people, weeping out of compassion. Whatever you say, it doesn't matter. Please take the name of Krishna. Such a mood of servant. That was Lord Chaitanya's mood as a gardener distributing the fruits of love of God. And that's the way the devotees served him. And that was so much Srila Prabhupada's mood. He didn't just go house to house and bathing ghat to bathing ghat. Srila Prabhupada went from country to country, continent to continent. And he put his spiritual ecstasies into his books and asked us, you are the representatives of my Guru Maharaj, please distribute these books and you will benefit and everyone will benefit. The last letter that Srila Prabhupada received from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gave the same instructions to him that Prabhupada gave to us. If you give this Krishna consciousness to others, you will benefit and everyone will benefit. On the path of bhakti, to be a servant means to really care. Narada Muni, in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he gives a simple formula of how we can transcend the miseries of material existence. And Srila Prabhupada writes, this is a formula of how we can be happy. When you meet someone that is more qualified or more accomplished than yourself, or more successful, shouldn't be envious, jealous, or discouraged. We should be very joyful for their success. When we meet someone who's less successful or less qualified, we should feel great compassion for them to lift them up. We shouldn't want to keep them down or feel arrogant. When we meet somebody who's at an equal level with us, we shouldn't boast about what we have accomplished. We should develop real friendship, being true well-wishers. This is the spirit of service in every type of relationship we have with every living being. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. This is what pleases Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he showed by his example. Here in Navadvip Dham, where we are all gathered, he would go to the bathing ghats and see a devotee washing their clothes. He would take the clothes from them and wash them and dry them and fold them and carry them home for them. He would see somebody walking and a devotee carrying something home. They may have been groceries, they may have been some articles. Lord Chaitanya would take them and carry for them. Devotees would say, no, please don't do this, Nimai. And Nimai would just happily take. He was showing by his example as Prabhupada did. When you serve, when you don't have egoistic motivations, you can actually reach people's hearts. Because we're empowered by Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during the Sankirtan festival, just across the Jalangi River, the devotees were chanting and dancing with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu throughout the day, and they were very hungry. There was nothing around. Lord Gauranga took a mango seed and pushed it in the ground. And then he chanted Hare Krishna. And right in front of everyone's eyes, a little sprout came out of the ground. And it grew and it grew and it grew until it was a tree. Branches, leaves, little mangoes started ripening. Within a matter of minutes, there was fully ripened mangoes. Then Lord Chaitanya, with his own hands, he collected every single mango. And he washed them. And he personally served them to each devotee. With his own loving hands. What type of mango was it? Lord Chaitanya wasn't just doing the ritual of serving prasad. He attended to every detail in such a way to fully satisfy the devotees. The type of mangoes that he grew, they had no seeds and no skin. And they were fully ripe. They were sweeter than nectar, and nobody could eat more than one mango. They were so fully satisfied. Every devotee, they ate one mango, and they were completely full and happy. And every day for 1 full year, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would bring his devotee to that mango tree, and mystically, the tree was full of these ripe, juicy mangoes with no seeds or skins. And Lord Chaitanya every day would serve them. In Puri, the cleansing of Gundicha temple, it was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's example that he's teaching us what a leader must do if we really want to represent him. He said, if Jagannath is going to come to this temple with Baladev and Subhadra, it must be completely clean. He said, I will personally clean the temple with my associates. And Kashi Mishra and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and others were saying, we can clean it, you don't know. Lord Chaitanya insisted, I will do. And the next morning, he personally handed brooms to every devotee. That's very relevant. Because Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and our Prabhupada, in his beautiful purport, describes that the cleaning of the Gundicha temple represents the cleaning of our hearts. If we want Krishna to give his darshan within our hearts, we must make our heart a completely clean place. Lust, anger, envy, greed, arrogance, illusion, all these tips, the desire for pratishta. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur tells, for a devotee, and the more we follow this, we're actually leaders. Leader is not a position. Leader is a mood of consciousness in its true sense. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, the desire for prestige and honor should be seen by a devotee as the stool of a boar, not cow dung. Boar dung. That's pretty degrading, because what do boars eat? They eat other people's stool. And then that stool becomes their stool. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, it is simply abominable as the stool of a boar. To clean that, the holy names, the 9 processes of devotional service, hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna. This is the broom that Srila Prabhupada has given each and every one of us. He's taken great efforts to personally, through his books, through his devotees, through his temples, he's giving us these brooms to clean our own hearts. And he's giving us the brooms to give others to clean their hearts. Lord Chaitanya was cleaning with the devotees. He was so enthusiastic. It seemed like he had so many hands. All the devotees, there was about 300 devotees helping him. They all made a pile with the dust and the sand and the straws that they collected. And their whole pile of all 300 was tiny compared to the pile that Lord Chaitanya himself personally collected. By his example, he was teaching us how precise, how careful, how attentive, and how enthusiastic and determined each and every one of us must be in our life. Not for profit, not for fame, for service. To please our Guru, Srila Prabhupada, to please the Vaishnavas, because that's the only way we have to please Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after cleansing the Gundicha temple, it was time for a big feast. Lord Chaitanya himself began to serve the feast. He loved to serve prasad. But there was a problem. He wanted to please the devotees so much that one handful that he would put on someone's plate was more than 5 people could eat. He was just so generous. Swarup Damodar Goswami had to say, Lord, please, Lord Gauranga, nobody else is going to eat until after you eat, so we will serve. But Lord Chaitanya was so eager to serve. In the disappearance day of Haridas Thakur, he went shop to shop begging. In honor of Haridas Thakur, I'm begging prasad so I can feed all the devotees and all the guests and all the pilgrims. And Swarup Damodar Goswami, Lalita Saki, his own personal secretary, the most highly realized, ecstatic lover of God, of Krishna, sannyasi, he served, along with Jagadananda Pandit, Shankar Pandit. Chaitanya Charitamrita tells that these devotees who were serving prasad were eternal associates of Radha and Krishna in Madhurya Ras, conjugal Ras in Vrindavan. And they were all serving the pilgrims and serving the devotees. There's nothing more great than the opportunity to serve. To serve in such a way that we can't always be successful in this, but we're really trying to please the people we're serving. Lord Chaitanya, he's the supreme Brahman. Sarvasya chaham hridi shani vishno. He's in everyone's heart. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartite. He's the source of all material and spiritual worlds. And yet, when he wanted to go somewhere, he would always ask permission from his devotees. He asked permission to go to Vrindavan. And when he left for Vrindavan and Gadadhar Pandit was coming with him during his first attempt, Lord Chaitanya said to Gadadhar Pandit, you are a servant of Tota Gopinath, the deity. You are the pujari. You cannot leave. You are kshetra sannyasi. You're not allowed to leave the place where your deity is. And Gadadhar Pandit said, the hell with my service to Gopinath. When I see you, I am serving Gopinath millions and millions of times. I'm coming with you. And ultimately, Lord Chaitanya told him, you must go back. No other discussion, you go back. And Gadadhar Pandit fainted. And Lord Chaitanya left on a boat. And then, it's a beautiful story, but in Ramakeli, Lord Chaitanya met Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, and they said, my dear Lord, you have hundreds and thousands of people going to Vrindavan with you. You should go alone or with 1 or 2 other people. So he took their guidance. And he returned to Puri. And when he came to the outskirts of Puri, what was the message he gave all the world for all time to come? He said, Krishna would not allow me to go to Vrindavan because I hurt the heart of Gadadhar Pandit. Without his permission, I cannot go. And Gadadhar Pandit said, no, you are the supreme, independent, all-pervading, all-powerful personality of Godhead. You can do anything you like. But before you go, come and let me give you prasad. This was Lord Chaitanya's mood. Our Prayojana Acharya is Raghunath Das Goswami. It doesn't take much to read anybody's books. And if you have the intellect, you could memorize it and you can quote it. But to understand it is a whole nother thing. We apply whatever intelligence we have to understanding. But it's our service attitude, it's the sincerity of our devotion, which is based on service, that attracts Krishna to give us realization. Raghunath Das Goswami went to Panihati. He wanted to escape his home. His home, they were billionaires. They were zamindars who had great land, they were taxing, they had massive income. All the luxuries anyone could imagine were there at Raghunath's home. And he was the sole heir to the whole fortune of the family. In Panihati, close by, on bank of Ganga, he met Lord Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhu, he gave him the instruction, Raghunath, you are keeping a distance like a thief. My punishment to you is you must feed everyone here with chiradahi. Chiradahi is the cheapest food. Raghunath was a rich man. Chira means chipped rice. If any of you have ever been beggars in India and you go door to door, that's probably what you'll get. Because it's so cheap. And it's easy to give. They just, chipped rice is cheaper than rice. It's so light. So he bought all this chipped rice and served all the devotees and served all the pilgrims and served all the people in the villages and served everybody. People were in the Ganga and on the bank of the Ganga and everywhere. He was going to every possible shop, to every possible little stand, just buying everything they had, fruits and chipped rice and yogurt and condensed milk, and he was buying little cups and he was serving and organizing. And Nityananda Prabhu was so pleased. He invited Lord Chaitanya to come. Lord Chaitanya, in a spiritual form that nobody could see except Nityananda Prabhu and a couple others, came to eat the chipped rice that Raghunath was giving to all the devotees. Because he was so happy with how the devotees were so pleased with Raghunath's service. And the next day, Nityananda Prabhu blessed Raghunath Das Goswami. He said, because you have served all the devotees so nicely, Lord Chaitanya was so pleased. Now you go and get the blessings of every devotee. Raghunath went and bowed down and took the dust of all the devotees there. And after all of that, then Nityananda Prabhu, he said, because you have served the devotees so nicely and pleased the Lord, very soon You will be liberated forever from all material entanglements, and you will become the personal assistant of the personal secretary of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, Raghunath Das Goswami, as Prayojana Acharya, he's teaching us the highest ecstatic goal of the gopis' love for Krishna. What's his example? He rarely would even speak to Lord Chaitanya. He felt himself so unqualified. He was just the servant of Swarup Damodar Goswami. And as far as his eating, to keep that mood of service in the humblest way, he would eat the rotten rice that the cows would spit out. We can't imitate him. If you try to imitate him, you will die. Or if you don't die, you'll probably have a huge false ego. But follow in his footsteps. Following in footsteps means the basis of his life was seva, service. Servant of the servant. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested the highest love between Radha and Krishna during the Ratha Yatra in Puri. But before he began his beautiful dance in Sankirtan, he offered a prayer to Jagannath. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayora Dasa Dasa Dasanudas. He's not identifying with any role, any position, except being servant of the servant of the servant. Now, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed the duties of a Brahmin very carefully. He performed the duties of a sannyasi very carefully. But the mood, das, 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 anu, das, the servant of the servant of the servant. That's what's important. To the degree we have that mood, we're actually leaders representing Lord Chaitanya and the members of our parampara. King Prataparudra, he was begging to meet Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya would not meet. He is a king. For me to meet a king is worse than drinking poison. How do you think the king felt about hearing that? What changed Lord Chaitanya's mind? When Ramananda Rai came from South India, where he was a very wealthy, learned governor of a whole province, he said, I asked the king if I could retire. And Ramananda Rai was a young person. I asked the king if I could retire to follow your instruction of coming to Puri to live with you. And as soon as he heard your name, he became so happy. He got up from his throne with tears. You are so fortunate. You're getting the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Not only will I give you permission to retire, I'll give you a full salary for the rest of your life, and all you have to do is serve Lord Chaitanya. Ramananda Rai was so happy. Then Lord Chaitanya's mind changed. Mahaprabhu quoted, Madbhakta Puja Adhika. He said, Krishna tells, one who worships my devotee is more dear to me than one who worships me. Because Prataparudra Maharaj has pleased you in this way, Krishna will certainly bestow his full mercy upon this king. And then later on, the king came to Ratha Yatra with a broom to sweep. Servant of the servant of the servant. Lord Chaitanya accepted in his heart, today I will give him my full mercy. And after he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya embraced him and bathed King Prataparudra with his ecstatic tears of love in a garden near Gundicha. When Lord Chaitanya was going to leave for Vrindavan, King Prataparudra, seeing thousands and thousands of people going with Lord Chaitanya, this is the first attempt, he organized with everything in his treasury practically to make 3 times a day in every place that Lord Chaitanya and all the devotees would stop, a full meal. And boats to be at every river to take them across, as long as Lord Chaitanya and his devotees were in his kingdom. You see, we cannot serve the Lord without serving the devotees of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada taught us how much he wanted us to make each other happy in Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada was very uncompromising about the principles that he expected us to follow. Out of love, out of compassion, because that's what we need. But yet he did it in such a way that each devotee, to whatever extent they could follow or not follow, he was always encouraging to be better and do more. I think most all of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, during his manifested time in this world, only a few had physical, personal association with him. But each and every one of us felt he really cares about not only us, but me. And devotees were willing to do anything and everything to serve Srila Prabhupada, to help him distribute these fruits of love of God. Not out of fear, out of love, out of gratitude. Because that's the effect he had in his mood of seeing us as the representatives of his Guru Maharaj. His compassion in which he fanned the spark of devotion. Even if he gave the most powerfully strong, uncompromising lectures, yes, we have to do it somehow or other. But even those who weren't yet there, they strived. Because he cares. Because we trust. On the path of bhakti, the leader who could be the most effective is the leader who people trust. And Prabhupada explained, I'm simply repeating the words of my Guru Maharaj. And he lived those words. And like Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, he did it with such a compassionate heart. Devotees trusted. Jivera Swarupoi Krishnera Nityadas. This is the very basic foundation of Lord Chaitanya's gift to us. I don't know what time I'm supposed to end. Does anyone know? 6:15. But I don't know if you're telling me the truth because Revati Ramani? Huh? Okay. Well, I'll give one more simple story of an example. Maybe two. Narottam Das Thakur. He was also he was a prince. He was the son of a king. He left everything and went to Vrindavan. He approached Lokanath Goswami for initiation. Lokanath Goswami said, I've never initiated anyone in my life, and now I'm in so much of the pangs of devotional separation from Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, who have left this world. I cannot initiate anyone. Narottam Das Thakur did not demand it. He just wanted to serve. But Lokanath Goswami was not accepting service from anyone. So Narottam Das Thakur, as a true servant, sometimes we think that by serving our gurus or serving a senior Vaishnav, we grab something and we make them very uncomfortable. I don't know if you understand that. But to serve means to please. It doesn't mean to make a person uncomfortable. So how to serve Lokanath Goswami without making him uncomfortable? Secretly. Every day, Lokanath Goswami would go to the Yamuna to take his bath before doing his seva for Radha Vinod, Shri Radha Vinod. But before he would go in to take his bath, he would respond to nature. He'd do that in a forest. And every day when he would come to this place for that purpose, it was so clean and so nice, and whatever was there from the day before wasn't there anymore. It was day after day after day. Lokanath Goswami said, why is it like this? It's so clean and it's so fresh and it's so fragrant. He decided, tomorrow I'm coming early and I'm going to hide in the bushes. And he did. He hid in the bushes and he saw Narottam, the little sweeper. He was on his hands and knees with this little sweeper and he was sweeping everything. And as he wasn't sweeping like just trying to get it done, which is kind of the way we do service sometimes. At least me. He was weeping. He was so grateful. He was doing it with so much affection. Lokanath Goswami was shocked. He came out of the bushes. He said, Narottam, what are you doing? You're a prince. You're the son of a king. You're a great scholar. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu have personally come before you. Why are you, with your hands, cleaning my urine and stool? Why? Thakur Narottam, with folded hands, he spoke his heart. He said, I have left behind all the illusory wealth of this world, and I have attained the greatest of all treasures, the opportunity to serve my Guru Maharaj. Lokanath Goswami's heart melted, and he initiated him. This is the very fiber of every acharya, of every leader of our parampara. Servant leadership. Trinada Bisunichena, Tador Ibasihishnana, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadhari. To be humble like the grass, giving, forgiving, tolerant like a tree. To offer all respect to others and to not expect or demand respect for oneself. Sometimes in leadership, we have to be strong. Sometimes Prabhupada would chastise, but even when he chastised, it was like a lightning bolt at the time. But it was the most relishable experiences of people's life. I just know in my own life, if I chastise someone like that, they don't consider it relishable. We can't imitate. Srila Prabhupada cared so much. He was in such a mood of service to his Guru Maharaj and so much of a mood of service to us that even when he chastised us, it didn't break us. It healed us. It made the point. It activated us toward higher devotional service, to be more careful. So it's very important that we understand how our words and how our actions are actually affecting people. Lord Chaitanya taught by example. After Lord Chaitanya's generation of devotees disappeared from the world, the senior most acharya of our sampradaya was Janava. Ishwari Janava, the consort of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And when Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasa Acharya, and Shyamananda Goswami, they established the first Gaur Purnima festival. They invited all the associates of Lord Chaitanya that were still living, and all the second generation devotees. Many came. Now this is years after even Rupa and Sanatan had left the world. Janava Devi, she was honored and worshipped by Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasa Acharya, and Shyamananda. She was the presiding acharya of the whole festival. And what did she do while she was there? She cooked for all the devotees. She was serving the devotees. She was a mother. She was a loving mother. She was a loving mother to all these devotees, cooking and cleaning and organizing. At the same time, she was giving instructions. But her mood was to respect, to please, to serve. That was her leadership. So yes, today in the corporate world, there's a lot of talk about servant leadership. In politics, usually during campaigns and speeches, the politicians are promising that I will serve you and make you better, usually based around economy and all those things. Because everyone knows you touch people's heart when you're really genuinely concerned with their well-being. We need to have strong sadhana to actually connect to Prabhupada's mercy so that we can actually be real well-wishers. Because when we live by the principle of servant leadership, people love us. People trust us. Of course, whoever we are, people are going to hate us. And they're not going to trust us. That's just the way the world is. But we should know that we are sincerely doing the best we can. Srila Prabhupada signed off every letter, your ever well-wisher. And because of the way he lived, and the words he spoke, we have great trust in those words. He is our ever well-wisher. We are eternally servants of Krishna. To serve Krishna properly is to be eternally the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. It is very important for our movement to sustain and to grow in real Krishna consciousness, that devotees become leaders in this spirit. During this wonderful conference, we're given so many tools. Yesterday, Shamsundar Prabhu gave an incredible talk. I wish everyone could have heard it because it was just such a heart-nourishing, inspiring talk about his times with Srila Prabhupada. And he describes the first personal interaction he ever had with Srila Prabhupada. How many were there last night? Prabhupada called him to his room. This is 1967 in San Francisco, California. First time Srila Prabhupada ever talked to him personally. He came to Prabhupada's room. Prabhupada was sitting on the floor behind this low table, and he asked Shamsundar to sit next to him. Right next to him. He was expecting maybe he's going to say some mantra in my ear, and I'm going to see God. Prabhupada took a piece of paper, took a pen, he drew a vertical line from the top of the piece of paper to the bottom. He said, first words, do you know bookkeeping? Shamsundar said, no. He was a carpenter. So Prabhupada said, everything that comes in, you write down, and everything that you spend, you write down. And he taught him bookkeeping. But the way he taught him, Shamsundar just wanted to chant the holy names and hear every word that Prabhupada gave, because Prabhupada was teaching him a very practical tool. But in the process, he was profoundly inspiring him to surrender his heart to Krishna. So we're learning so many tools, and they're valuable tools. For an organization, for an institution, leaders must be aware. Finances, congregational development, legal matters, systems for management. But Jiveta Swarupoi Krishnadar Nityadas, the foundation that makes all of these spiritually empowered, is how we are servant leaders. We care. We care about Prabhupada's mission. We care about the properties of Prabhupada's mission. We care about the devotees in Prabhupada's mission. We care about all devotees in the world because that's what Prabhupada's mission is for. If we truly pray for that and perform our sadhana sincerely, Krishna will empower us to truly be servant leaders. And in giving, Krishna gives himself. That's what Srila Prabhupada is expecting from each of us. That is how we can offer our gratitude to him. When devotees are inspired, when devotees are happy, that's what our leadership is for. Then devotees with great faith could come together, raise our arms from every part of the world together as one family and chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Please do not forget to buy Vishaka's book. It's very wonderful. And Shamsundar. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.